I'm gonna turn my phone to airplane mode, and I'm gonna sleep in the basement. This is pretty much as close to the earth as I can get, because I'm pretty sure it's just concrete and then dirt. And then worms and spiders. Doesn't get much more primal than that. As I set up my hard wooden bed on the cold floor, I couldn't help but think of my dog Sunday, who also sleeps on a hard surface on top of just one blanket. Does the Liver King think that our ancient ancestors were dogs? Come to think of it, I've never seen my dog use a phone much either. Anyways, that's why I put on this wacky pillowcase. After putting my phone in airplane mode and anchoring myself to the earth for a little bit, and that should be pretty much good, I crawled into my nice warm bed for the best night of sleep I've ever had. Or so I thought. Yup, that's right, you just got pranked, baby. It was not a good night's sleep. All right, good morning, everybody. You may have noticed that I am not in my basement anymore. Picture a toddler showing up in the doorway of his parents' room in the middle of the night because he just threw up. That's pretty much how I showed up at our bedroom door last night, with 2 giant pieces of plywood, because honestly I didn't want to sleep in the basement anymore. All right, it was scary and lonely. Once Laura was done laughing at me, it probably took me like an hour to fall asleep, I'd say. I didn't sleep well at all. I tossed and turned all night. Maybe if I did this for weeks, eventually I would get used to it, but as of right now, the only positive that I can take away from this experience is that I have never been so excited to get out of bed. When my alarm rang and it was time for me to stop planking all night, I was absolutely stoked. So if you're someone who has trouble getting out of bed, then consider sleeping in a medieval torture device, dude. It honestly might help. Now that it was time to get up and start my very first day as a primal, I consulted this video on Liver King's morning routine.
Most frequently asked question is, how does Liver King clean his beard and his mustache? I don't. I also don't use deodorant, I don't brush my teeth, and I don't wash my hair. So, I'm gonna be starting my day by not doing any sort of hygiene care. I'm not gonna shower, I'm not gonna shave, and I'm not gonna shit. All right, fine. I probably will shit, but I'm not gonna wipe. Since the Liver King basically doesn't have any morning routine, I decided to skip shaving today, which left me looking pretty primal, I gotta say. But enough wasting time looking at myself in the mirror. I've gotta go stand outside.
Ancestral tenet number 5. Connect.
This tenet basically says that the Earth has some sort of electromagnetic charge that is really healthy for humans to absorb. And back in the day, our ancient ancestors were always walking around barefoot, so they were always charging up on that good. We were always sort of suckling from Mother Earth with our feet. But since we're all walking around with shoes nowadays, we don't do that. It says just give it a shot for 10 minutes and see how you feel. So this sounds like it's gonna suck ass in all honesty. It's about 35 degrees outside right now. There is snow on the ground. Lucky for me though, I can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone here because there's another tenet called cold.
Comfort is not good for the organism.
That's me, I'm the organism.
This is why the 6th ancestral tenet is get cold.
Something tells me he's not talking about getting absolutely iced out with some ancient jewels and gems. Although our ancestors did do that too, dude. Look at freaking pharaohs. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go.
I think in general, we as a society are a lot cleaner in nature, so we tend to wear shoes and things like that to prevent tracking of dirt inside the home, bacteria, etc. But in a lot of other cultures, it's very, very common to be barefoot in nature. What a lot of people believe is that when you are grounded to the earth, you are more connected with it in nature. And so that kind of tends to help your whole being. But medically, we haven't seen a 100% correlation of any sort.
All right, this part did not feel healthy. Not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be experiencing currently, but holy shit, it is cold. My feet were literally burning. Holy shit, this is awful. As I stood there, I couldn't help but think of my dog Sunday, who also stands outside barefoot in the middle of winter. But while she'll stand out there for literal hours on end, I could only make it for 4.5 minutes. Honestly, a little disappointed in myself. I thought I had a little bit more of our ancestors in me than that. Oh, now my feet are all dirty too, but I guess that's how they're supposed to be. All right, did I connect with the earth at all? Did I feel calm? I mean, honestly, I like being outside. That was nice. Especially in the wintertime, I feel like sometimes I don't get enough sun, I don't get enough vitamin D, don't get to feel the sun on my skin too often. So in that sense, I enjoyed myself. In any physical sense, it was honestly torture. And now I'm hungry.
Ancestral tenet number 2. Eat.
When I told him I was doing this video, His Highness the Liver King actually offered to send me 10 pounds of raw beef liver and bone marrow straight to my house free of charge. Super nice of him to do that. But after I gave him my address and a week went by, I started to worry that no food was coming at all, and that I wouldn't be making a video about the Liver King, because this was all some sort of elaborate simulated hunt, and I'd just let him straight to me. But luckily the next day it showed up. So here's a little flashback of when I received it. All right, let's open this box. I'm so curious to see what this is even gonna look like. I have no concept of what 10 pounds of raw liver and bone marrow looks like. Okay. The odor is inoffensive so far. Food safe packaging does not really seem to go with like the Liver King's lifestyle. I thought he might be sending me this stuff and it would just come in some sort of like ancient garment that's been like passed down from generation to generation. So I am pleasantly surprised that it at least appears to be packaged in some sort of responsible way. Beef bone marrow. Oh no, dude. What? It's the liver! Ew! Oh, Jesus. As I looked over my mountain of beef liver, I couldn't help but think of my dog Sunday, who also eats beef liver every day. You guys are probably wondering whether eating raw beef liver is good for you or not, because that's what I was wondering. Am I gonna die?
The liver in general has a really high amount of vitamin A. It literally has the amount that you need for a total day. If you are taking medications, you may not be able to really eat that much vitamin A in your diet. The other good thing about it is it has iron. So iron is great for those people that are iron deficient, but most people that are iron deficient are also vegetarians and vegans. I don't think many of those people are really going to be eating those foods. It's very high in cholesterol. You have higher risk of like bacterial infections. So you can get E. coli, you can get salmonella that way. So that's really the main concern, is more of like a bacterial infection side of it.
Right. I was actually pretty surprised that there are some health benefits to eating raw liver, and it's not purely a ridiculously bad idea. It seemed like the only thing I really had to worry about was getting some kind of bacterial infection. But I mean, come on, that didn't really seem like a big issue. I mean, as long as everything was like properly refrigerated. I just finished putting away the all of the beef liver and stuff, and I noticed that the little bag that I took out of the box at the very start was a bag that says ice on it. Like it's supposed to have ice in it to keep everything cold, and it's empty. There was never any ice in the box. I feel like stuff like this you're supposed to send with dry ice, right? Should I be concerned there was no ice in the box? Yeah, so I actually was pretty worried going into this, but you know what? I had a feeling that the Liver King wouldn't let the prospect of a little bacteria scare him away from a good meal, and oh boy, did this meal look good, dude. Okay, yep, smells like raw meat, so that's good. This meal looked like a feast fit for a king. Too bad it was the Liver King and not like a real king. Okay, I think I got all of it out. And if you're wondering what it smells like, honestly, it kind of just smells like raw meat. Like if you can picture what like beef tastes like before you cook it. I mean, not taste like. You guys can all picture what beef tastes like before you cook it, right? You guys are all monsters. The feeling of the beef liver in my hands while I was cutting it up was like nothing I've ever felt before. I don't know if you've ever seen like videos of scientists handling that like aerogel material that's supposed to be like the lightest material known to man. That's what beef liver felt like. It felt like if I like inhaled too hard while I was cutting it up, a chunk of it would just like fly down my throat. Sorry if you're watching, Liver King, I am washing my hands. I don't know if that's allowed. I don't want to be sticky for the rest of the day. I don't know if that's allowed. He DMs me, you forgot about the last tenet, dude. Stickiness. Our ancient ancestors were covered in grime and sticky juices. This particular recipe that the Liver King sent me is a dessert recipe. Oh, fuck. Now I gotta clean my counters. I guess he's trying to ease me in with something sweet for my first time, which I very much appreciate. Basically, all I had to do was mix together some maple syrup. Oh no, dude, that's like nothing. Olive oil and salt. And I was ready to go. In his description, he had like a brand of salt to get. He said 4 grams of Redmond sea salt. Didn't really understand why he wanted me to go get a specific brand of sea salt. I was like, does this guy have some sort of like tie-in with Redmond? But the bag does say ancient kosher sea salt, so I'm guessing that's why. He probably saw it says ancient on there and he was like, oh, okay. Now I gotta eat it. I don't wanna do this at all. I didn't eat anything today. The foolish part of me thought that I was gonna be able to eat enough of this for it to be a meal. And we're going to the gym right after this, so it's honestly pretty important that I do eat a decent amount of this so that I don't like faint. But also not so much of this that I also faint.
Ancestral tenet number 8. Fight. I believe for us to really thrive, we have to possess a type of high courage to continue to fight for something meaningful, to foster an inner fire, to take real risks, and to continue to create ways to win.
I'm like shaking. I feel like I'm gonna faint just looking at this right now.
Look for opportunities that scare the shit out of yourself. In this way, we can honor the legacy of our ancestors and our biology so that we can enjoy the spoils of the modern world and express the best version of ourselves.
And then... Bon appetit!
have to possess a type of high courage to continue to fight for something meaningful.
There was never any ice in the
The
box.
liver in general has a really high amount of vitamin A.
Oh. I mean, it kind of tastes like a really, really rare steak, which I